anytime you're using a browser, anytime you're browsing the internet, you are using JavaScript. It's the language of the internet. Let's do this. My name is Mortada. I'm a software engineer at Meta based in the Seattle office. I've been coding in JavaScript since 2012. So JavaScript is actually something that, as you're watching me now through this video, it's something that you're using. Probably as you made your coffee this morning, maybe your coffee maker had some JavaScript. Your car might have JavaScript. Nowadays, we are in a world where JavaScript is so common and so used across a lot of technologies and a lot of devices that it's become a language that cannot be replaced. The first time I used JavaScript was I was an intern at the time, Facebook. And at the time, JavaScript had not been as popular and as common. So I hadn't actually learned it in university or in my courses. You know, the other more attractive or interesting languages at the time were like people writing in Java or C++. People used to sometimes not take JavaScript very seriously and think like it's a language that's not used by real and serious developers, but now we see the world runs using JavaScript and just about every application we interact with today probably has some JavaScript in it one way or another. One of the things that makes JavaScript so popular and important is that it's the only language that is used in web development. In game developments or other types of applications, there are choices to use other languages, like you could use C++ or you could use Java or you could use other things. But when it comes to web development, the only available language is JavaScript, and that's what makes it so popular and common and important to learn when you're developing web applications. At Meta, we use JavaScript in our entire web stack, but we also use JavaScript in other places too. One of the unique things about JavaScript that no other language has is that it's a language that can be used for writing the front end and the back end. So a lot of applications, you know, they have a backend maybe in Python or PHP or Java or something else, but they're required to have a JavaScript front end because that's the only language of the front end. But because JavaScript can also be used on the back end, if you design your application or if you choose to make it consistently JavaScript across the entire stack, sometimes that may simplify the application and then you don't have to learn multiple languages or maintain code bases that are written in different languages. Some of the challenges that I've faced when switching between other languages, like I had been used to Java and came to the world of JavaScript, even though they seem like they might be very similar, they're like half of the name is the same, but actually it turns out there are some things in JavaScript that are specific and they're very unique to this language. There are certain things about JavaScript that are a little inconsistent when compared to other programming languages. Like you have your C++ and Java and some other languages that follow certain behaviors, and then JavaScript is sometimes in its own corner doing weird things. But I actually find that a lot of times JavaScript is easier to learn than some of these other languages. So even if in its weirdness and in its quirks and some of the things that are confusing about it, overall, I find it an easier language to learn and use than these other ones. As you're learning JavaScript, you'll stumble upon challenges and you might find that things are not making sense. I encourage you to power through them, and you know you will find that with time you will likely come to enjoy and love this language. At this point, we live in a world where JavaScript is so commonly used across devices and technologies. I can't comprehend or think of all the different applications or places that are running JavaScript in them. As you, a developer who is learning coding, it's an important skill to have, and you'll find that many employers will be interested in hiring you if you can code in JavaScript. So, you know, give it a shot and you know, be patient with it. If it confuses you or frustrates you, don't let that stop you from going through. Do we do the thing at the end too?